Hi everyone, I'm James. Thanks for joining me at my new YouTube channel, The Cure for Stupid. Today we're going to be talking about anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder. This is my first YouTube video, so welcome, and I hope you enjoy it. Hi everyone. So first I wanted to say thanks for watching. This is my first video and I'm going to be talking about anxiety and PTSD. I'm not a doctor or psychologist, however I've been a first responder as either a medic, EMT, or soldier for over 20 years, so anxiety and PTSD are part of my life. Currently this is May 2020 and we're in the middle of the coronavirus COVID-19 crisis, and through social media I've watched first responders, soldiers, healthcare professionals in their stresses that have resulted in anxiety and depression and suicide. And this is my way of trying to help educate my peers and others so that they can self-help and put their own experiences into perspective, and maybe give some clinicians that are treating people with these conditions a fresh way of looking at things. I've tried to keep this video short and direct so that people can watch it in between calls at work. If you like this content or me or are interested in more videos like this, please hit the like button, share it as you wish, however you wish, and help me out. Hit the subscribe button to the channel and you'll be notified of whenever I upload a video. And let's get started by defining the problem. This being a partially instructional video or educational, I need to start with a baseline of definitions. So let's go with PTSD as being a persistent mental and emotional stress, result of injury or psychological shock, and anxiety as being a feeling primarily, or an emotion characterized by feelings of tension, worried thoughts, and physical changes like increased blood pressure. Also, increased heart rate and shortness of breath. Show the relationship between both the physical and the mental side of things. Coming down, I broke out the mind as, the function that creates and controls mental functions such as attention, memory, emotions, language, thinking, and reasoning. And I had to use, in order to describe the entire process of how your body and the environment and your mind interact with each other, I use the OODA loop. It's basically an approach that allows you to process manage it between elements of a problem. I broke out psychology and emotions as a complex psychological state. It's got three components: your subjective experience, physiological response, and your behavioral expressive response, which is how you physically interact with the world around you. And, just recapping, the physiological response is how your brain interacts with your body. Your environment, with all of us being a product of our environment, this is what drives the stresses that you're going to react to, that your body and your mental state and emotional state is going to react to. Your body, your body and your brain probably could have been combined into two, but because of physical trauma and changes to your brain, I kept the brain separate. Because when you do have things alter, trauma to your brain specifically, it does alter the way that it interacts with your body. And your body, beautiful organic machine that enables you to physically perceive and interact with your environment. Now I will say I'm trying not to make this a PowerPoint presentation, but I did have to make some slides to show the physical relationship between the aspects of what we're going to be talking about. I tried to work hard on keep it simple, stupid, but I apologize, but let's break into that presentation. Talking about anxiety and how it manifests physically and mentally into a similar response, and the reasons for that are going to start with your environment. Now, your environment is going to provide a stress stimulus. This could be perception-based or it could be physical-based. Trauma, pain, suffering, perceiving suffering of others, or witnessing violence of any kind. And that's a special thing that I will talk about, because violence has a very particular effect on the body and the entire process. However, your mind in the PTSD affected state provides your mental functions and everything it does normally. However, it does affect your psychology and your emotions, or how you process those things that are happening, or that your mind is conjuring for you to witness. Both are a function of your perception. Now you have your psychology and your emotional effects and your physical effects on your body. Should have probably put the brain down here because it provides this communication method, and this breakout right here actually falls right between, this communication between your body and your emotions. These are the physical effects on the body causing lasting sensitivity. And it's primarily chemical. Your environment can provide physical damage to your body, your physical effects on your body. However, we're talking about a chemical response to what's going on. And that breaks down into this sympathetic nervous response, or your fight or flight response right now. The parasympathetic, or the opposite of what's going on, is just for simplicity, it's the opposite of whatever happens here. Look at it as a good thing. But the sympathetic nervous response is, revs you up. It prepares you to fight or take flight or freeze. Why? For survivability. Your heart starts beating fast. Your breath is fast and shallow. Why? You need to get oxygen into your blood so your mental acuity expands. You can see better. Your gut is not essential to your immediate survival there. So your body starts taking blood from the non-essential organs and puts it into your muscles, puts it into your brain. And hormones rush through your body so that you feel anxious, so that you are inspired to move. Now, if you understand, and there's a really good reason, a tiger is running at you, you have to get out of a burning building, your body will respond, and you'll be able to clearly understand, why you need to survive, and your body's going to do that. Now, if the stimulus is starting to come from your mind, and you're affected emotionally, your body's still going to do that, but you're not really going to have a logical understanding. And it's going to result into fear and anxiety. Understand exactly what's going on here, or what should go on. Let's going to start with the environment. Now, you can see by the legend that I have down here, you've got two OODA loops going on, a mental and a physical one, by these arrows over here. However, you'll realize that once it hits the brain, it really changes into a physical thing. Now, your environment interacts with your body through your psychology and emotions and perception. And you have a mental OODA loop going on around, but right as soon as it gets into the interpreter, your brain, it changes to a physical OODA loop. Your body sends hormones via your neurotransmitters to your body to prepare it to interact with the environment. And the cycle completes. This is a constant thing. Your environment, you might get hurt, trauma, injury, and physical effects on your body that go directly to the body, and then it translates through pain and pleasure. It's interpreted by the brain and back up to the body for an interaction with your environment. So you've got something going on kind of like this, and then you've got the perception aspect that is going on like this. One can potentiate the other. They can be complementary or start working against each other. Post-traumatic stress disorder. The mind, after being affected by trauma, being affected by physical stresses, and having an overload, and that misinterpretation, or that not failure to reason, is affected. So your mind is affected in one way. It causes you to interact with your environment. Both of these, pretty much go on constantly, and then you're left with a change in your perception. Your psychology and emotions are formed around certain things. That constant interaction with your body, that chemical interaction that makes your body adapt. And then you have this casual adaptation. And this is kind of what we are expecting to happen. Your mind reasons with the incoming stimuli and expands its operating range to adapt to usual stresses as a function of your neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is just a fancy word for your brain's ability to adapt to new incoming stimulus. But then you have this thing, this traumatic adaptation. And this is where I believe that post-traumatic stress disorder really starts rearing its ugly head. And it's a singular event or singular events occurring outside the immediate neuroplastic adaptation range. Basically, you're outside of your operating range for your mind to wrap its ability to adapt around. But it's not outside your body or physical ability to adapt. In these events, survival is the key. Your brain and body work together for survival in absence of your mind's ability to reason. This is exhibited primarily by that sympathetic nervous response where, your gut goes away, your muscles strengthen as a result of the neurochemical response, and you are able to survive. This acute physical adaptation without the associated emotional and mental adaptation is what causes acute stress syndrome or post-traumatic stress disorder. Well, we already discussed how things are kind of supposed to look with the physical and mental interaction between your body, your brain, and your environment and your perceptions. But this is what happens, how a mind with PTSD works. And there's a third, loop here to process information. And what really happens is everything basically happens the same, but notice that there's an absence of the environment needed for this to happen. There doesn't need to be a physical stimulus. Your mind has that stimulus. You can't completely discount the environment because it's always going to have some type of input on you. But what ends up happening is when these mental and emotional signals get to your brain, they're interpreted, they change back into a physical, process. Your body gets ready, but the problem is there's no outlet. There's nothing to react to. There's no physical danger. There's no physical, part of the environment that needs to be reacted to. And this is the hijack right here. And what that turns into is your logical mind starts feeling stress. It's trying to understand what's going on. And it results in an emotional stress or a fear. You're like, what is happening to me? This is where anxiety exists. And it directly feeds right back into your psychology and your emotions and starts the loop all over again. And it gets worse and worse. And the more that you try and understand it, the more that you try and react to it. In my experience, it gets worse. However, being educated on how to react to it will allow you to shortcut this and put it back into the environment, put it back into your mind, put it back into your psychology and emotions so that you can heal. One of the main takeaways that I want you to understand is that your body is doing what it is designed to do. You're not broken. It's just an adaptation that is happening out of order from your ability to mentally understand it. And when there is no external stimulus by the environment for you to react to, there's a breakdown. You really cannot reason with what's happening to your body as a result of what your mind is, and it can be maddening. And what you really need to understand, though, is it's normal. And get back to that 12-step thing where the first step is to understand that there is a problem. The last is just go back to the bar. I'm not advocating that. What that ends up happening is you go back into those bad situations and it just gets worse because you have a new normal. You have a new operating spectrum. Now, what it can adapt to, and what you can is if you do understand, if you do really, really try and wrap your head around what's happening to you both physically and mentally at the same time in two different scales, what will result is a comfortable understanding, and you can start growing that casual adaptation into where it should be. Personally, when I started experiencing this, it was scary as hell. And I started to fight it. I do what any paramedic or soldier would do, and I try and fight the process. And I can tell you that your mind will win. It comes back harder. So you need to look for things that will help you understand and just calm down. In the environments that I work in Harlem and the Bronx, I dealt with cultures that are very warm, very inviting, very concerned, and some would say dramatic. And when someone was in crisis, they wanted to rush to that person. They wanted to, surround that person with love. And all they did was end up making more of a stress from the environment while that person was experiencing a mental stress. And that ratcheted it up ultimately till the person had what we would describe as an anxiety attack. What needs to happen in these is you need less stimulus, not more. My personal opinion, but you deal with it the way that is best for you and the way that your treatment plan is. But from my experience, you need less stimulus. You need to understand my heart is beating fast, but I'm not running a marathon. I can't catch my breath because my blood is trying to pick up more oxygen, and it's taking it around to my body. I feel nervous. My muscles feel a certain way. Why? They're getting ready to fight. They're getting ready to do something. What helped me was a lot of exercise. It helped me just calmly, letting it pass, controlling my breathing. And I think that'll help you. So, but it can be maddening. So you have to keep your mind strong. You have to really, really understand that your body's doing something without a stimulus from the outside world. Have people just give you a little bit of time. The more and more you do this, the better you'll get at it. The more you'll understand yourself, the more you'll understand what's going on with your body. But I encourage you, don't fight it so much. Fight it with calm. Don't fight it with, something more that's going to make it worse. I do hope that this video has helped you understand a little bit of the process that's going on. I do really care about my brothers and sisters that are still wearing the uniform, that are going through these stresses. I don't want to lose any more of you. So thanks for watching the video, and I will talk to you guys later.